The first crewed hydrogen-powered helicopter flight recently took off in Quebec. The historic March 27th test flight was the first time a piloted hydrogen-powered helicopter went beyond a hover test, going through all the stages required for a full flight.
I think a lot of people underestimate what it takes to get a pilot on board such a vehicle with a hydrogen and all the safety aspect of the demonstration.
Hydrogen has long been touted as a more sustainable fuel source since its combustion produces only water and energy as byproducts. See those white plumes coming off the back of the helicopter? That isn't smoke, it's steam. But in order to be safe for human flight, burning clean isn't enough.
Should there be an anticipated leak in one of the fuel lines, you want to ensure that the way the hydrogen will disperse into the atmosphere is done in a safe way. So with the proper amount of ventilation, for example, or under other circumstances where you would have large quantity of hydrogen leaking from the system due to a malfunction, you want to make sure that the venting system is physically located at the right spot on the aircraft to ensure that you're minimizing the risks of having hydrogen accumulation in any of the areas.
Safety is always key in aviation, and with hydrogen in particular, it's hard not to think of the most famous hydrogen-related aviation disaster in history, the Hindenburg.
A lot of consideration on proper segregation between the high voltage component and the hydrogen fuel feed system to minimize the risks of igniting the hydrogen in case of a leak.
Aircraft that move forward like planes have air flowing constantly into the engine to cool it, but aircraft that hover in place like helicopters need to create cooling without that type of airflow.
You may have noticed on some of the recordings and video of the flight that we had two big nacelles on each side of the helicopter, so those are cooling pods.
The helicopter being used was a modified Robinson R-44. And Robinson was a partner in this test flight along with a company called Unither Bioelectronics, whose parent company is aimed at creating an unlimited supply of transplantable organs.
And we've basically decided to introduce sustainable aviation into that organ delivery network.
Sustainability also aligns with the company's mission as a public benefit corporation. The shorter flights and smaller aircrafts used for organ transplantation also make this a good platform for developing this type of sustainable flight technology. Hydrogen holds more energy per weight than batteries, making it a strong choice for aviation. But batteries are still helpful for managing parts of the flight that demand extra energy, like takeoff and landing. The air taxi company Joby has also bet big on a hydrogen electric system, flying over 500 miles using this combination in their uncrewed demonstrator vehicle in 2024.
Currently, the power system is very heavy. So in terms of a next step, I think one of the challenges will be the reduction in weight of the fuel cell system, including the cooling. There are very promising technologies out there that basically result in a lower empty weight fraction of the aircraft, even considering the fuel cell system weight, etc. So freeing up some of the empty weight fraction and transferring that weight budget to the actual useful payload, meaning pilots and organs.
The main hurdles to more widespread hydrogen adoption as a fuel source in general, and aviation in particular, are building out the infrastructure, scaling up to reduce costs, and satisfying safety regulations.
The aviation industry has to really see a long-term vision, like 20, 30 years, starting maybe in the next 5 years with small aircrafts that only requires 20 kilogram of hydrogen for roughly 200 nautical mile mission. In terms of the energy resilience and energy dominance, hydrogen has to be part of the solutions. And of course, hydrogen is the most abundant element in the universe.
What do you think of hydrogen-powered flight? Let us know down in the comments and subscribe for more stories that make you say, what the future?